Many began to feel that Harry and Meghan's charity efforts felt more like a brand effort for them rather than a mission to help others. Even
They're hypocritical and selfish. The money that they're giving out is money that other people have donated to Archwell. It's not any of their own money. It's not their money. It's other people's money. I always found that very interesting.
Prince Harry is facing new trouble after resigning from his Africa charity.
Its chairwoman has now publicly accused Harry of harassment and bullying.
The charity built to honor a princess suddenly found itself fighting for its life. A few tense minutes on a polo podium, a string of public accusations, and a regulator's verdict later, years of goodwill were on the line. Not because the mission changed, but because the story did. And once the internet locks onto a story, it rarely lets go.
The comment section yells at us. He co-founded this for his mother with another prince. They both co-founded this charity together to honor their mothers. So this was post Princess Diana that he founded this charity.
I'll admit, Prince Harry has indeed been praised by his charity work, even by his critics.
Before the headlines turned sharp, Sentabali meant hope. Co-founded by Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso, the charity spent years supporting children in Lesotho and Botswana, especially those affected by HIV and the loss that often shadows it. Donors loved the clarity of the mission. The annual Polo Cup felt like sunshine, athletes, cameras, and a cause you could actually describe in one sentence. It wasn't perfect, but it looked like the rare celebrity-backed effort that did real, measurable good. That glow matters when you ask the public to care. It matters even more when you ask them to give.
Alleging relations with the prince collapsed after this charity polo match in Miami last year, where she says organizers were caught off guard when Harry's wife Meghan arrived unannounced, accompanied by tennis superstar Serena Williams.
At the end of the match, Meghan, who has no official role with the charity, presented the trophy.
Some accused Meghan of being rude when she asked Sophie to switch positions away from Harry.
There was a lot of talk about the Duchess and the choreography on stage and whether she should have been there and her treatment of me. And so the choreography went badly on stage.
Then came a moment too short to justify the noise it caused, and yet here we are. A trophy presentation video from a 2024 Palm Beach fundraiser did the rounds. In it, Meghan Markle appears to guide Dr. Sophie Chandauka, the charity's chair, into a new spot on the stage. The clip is quick, but quick moments can be sticky. People replayed it, reframed it, and argued about what they were seeing. A gentle nudge, a power flex, a nothing burger turned into a meme. For a charity that thrived on polished images, the image became a problem. Because once a moment looks like choreography, viewers start asking who's directing the show.
It was me who was the problem because I put a whistleblower complaint about the bullying, the harassment, and the misogyny, and Prince Harry interfered in the investigation of that. And the senior independent director who should have taken care of it was the very same person who then delivered the news to me that I was going to be removed by the board. So it's a cover-up.
What happened next pushed the story from awkward optics into institutional crisis. In March 2025, Dr. Chandauka went public with claims that she'd faced harassment and bullying at scale. Those are heavy words. Prince Harry's side denied the accusations firmly. The debate jumped from royal watchers to mainstream outlets, and the narrative hardened into sides. One camp saw an executive standing up to pressure. The other saw a co-founder defending a mission he started in his 20s. The nuance got flattened into headlines because that's what headlines do. But the power struggle, alleged or denied, had already left the boardroom. Once it's out, it's out. Quick pulse check. If you're into deep dive reporting that cuts through noise, tap like right now so the algorithm actually shows you this kind of content again. Drop a comment with where you first heard about the Senabale story, because that shapes how people interpret it. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We do long-form balanced breakdowns without the fluff.
By going to the Times and telling the Times, hey, I'm stepping down. And
inside the organization, the consequences were real. Prince Harry, Prince Seeiso, and the trustee board resigned. The Charity Commission for England and Wales opened an investigation into governance and the way this dispute spilled into public view. Now, regulators don't do drama, they do documentation. They look for processes, policies, and the gaps where emotions get to run the show. And when the findings landed in August 2025, they cut through a lot of speculation. No evidence of systemic bullying or misconduct, but also real governance failures and public infighting that damaged the charity's reputation, with a clear call to strengthen dispute resolution and whistleblowing policies. In other words, no smoking gun, but definitely smoke.
Recently, a charity commission revealed that Harry's own ego is a detriment to his charity, Chandauka. And this isn't the first charity issue that Harry and Meghan have. Personal charity, the Archewell Foundation, had the slogan, "Show up, do good," which was ironic for many, given that their charitable efforts often seem more focused on them looking good rather than actually doing good.
If you've ever worked inside a mission-driven nonprofit, you know that reputational smoke chases donors away. People don't want a soap opera with their receipts. Reporting since the fallout paints a rough picture. Fundraising shock, trust erosion, and programs that don't run on hope alone. Even with loyal supporters, the machine stutters when the story turns sour, and it takes more than one clean finding to restart momentum. Reputations are fragile, budgets are even more so. That's why governance isn't a boring checkbox. It's the firewall that keeps personality clashes from burning down the house.
Revealing a troubling pattern inside the charity.
To play the victim card and then use the very press they disdain to challenge those who dare to stand up against them.
Here's what is so karmically.
Both sides responded as you'd expect. Harry's camp welcomed the lack of findings against him, but criticized how the saga hurt the very kids the charity serves. Dr. Chandauka emphasized that the report confirmed serious governance concerns and defended her refusal to be anyone's PR arm. The commission's language, no evidence of systemic bullying, doesn't adjudicate every interpersonal claim. It simply says the investigators didn't find proof at scale. That's a key nuance. Public opinion, however, doesn't live on nuance. It lives on clips, captions, and the first sentence people read when they're already late for something else.
This unleashing of the Sussex machine on me and the 540 employees at Centre Valley who received this and have had to defend it, that is an example of harassment and bullying.
So what really changed? Not the need on the ground, not the reason Centre Valley was founded. What changed is the narrative layer that lives above every modern charity with a famous patron. This layer decides whether a fundraiser feels like community or like content. It decides whether a photo looks like gratitude or like branding. When a single video becomes the shorthand for an organization, people stop debating the mission and start litigating the moment. And once that happens, you can't fix it with one statement or one report. You fix it with time, transparency, and a little humility from everyone involved. There's also a broader context the internet keeps dragging into the frame. Separate from Chandauka, Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation briefly appeared as delinquent in California in May 2024 over renewal paperwork and fees. Coverage hit hard, the state restored good standing, and the story moved on. It wasn't a criminal finding, it was a filing issue. But these side notes stack up in public memory, where people keep an informal scoreboard of competence. Even if the scoreboard isn't fair, it's there. And when another charity row surfaces, the old headlines get recycled as supporting evidence for whatever argument someone already wants to make. If you strip away the names and look at the pattern, you see a classic collision between mission and spotlight. A great cause attracts cameras. Cameras attract expectations. Expectations attract edits. Eventually, the people doing the work and the people shaping the story start stepping on each other's lines. Did the viral trophy clip prove anything? Not really. It became a symbol because symbols are easier to share. Did the commission's report solve the fight? Not really. It cleared a set of accusations at scale and flagged governance gaps, which is legal speak for, you need better rules before this happens again. The hard work starts after the headlines fade. Rebuilding donor trust, recommitting to the unglamorous parts of service, and keeping internal disagreements internal long enough to be solved.
Something far more important was lost. A charity's mission should never come second to a royal ego.
There's another uncomfortable truth. Celebrity philanthropy runs on two currencies, outcomes and optics. Outcomes are slow, often invisible progress measured by kids who get the medicine, the school, the counselor. Optics are the glossy proof that reassures donors that their belief wasn't misplaced. When optics outrun outcomes, you get resentment. When outcomes happen with zero optics, you get empty rooms at fundraisers. The balance is delicate. And the Sentabali saga shows what happens when that balance shatters in public view. So where does that leave things? According to reporting, Sentabali faces a steeper hill than before. Reputational bruises, funding questions, and lingering doubts about leadership. Yet none of that erases the impact made over the years. If the mission is to keep going, it will take clear governance, transparent fundraising, and a visible reset that centers the communities served rather than the personalities in the press release. It's not shade. That's the blueprint for any nonprofit crawling out of a reputational crater.
You can't be doing the things without seeking consent from the property owners, the sponsors, all the guests. Nobody signed up into being.
There's also a lesson for viewers. Don't confuse a viral clip with a verified conclusion. The internet is allergic to waiting, but real inquiries take months. In this case, the regulators' findings didn't match the loudest takes on either side. No systemic bullying was found. Governance was criticized. If you need a shortcut to sanity on stories like this, here it is. Separate claims from conclusions, then ask who benefits from you believing one over the other. The answer is usually the clue to what's missing. As for the people at the center of it, they're not villains or saints. They're human, with legacies they're guarding and mistakes they're making in public. Dr. Sophie Chandauka stepped into a high-wire role and spoke out in a way that shook an entire ecosystem. That took nerve and carried consequences. Prince Harry poured 2 decades into a cause tied to his mother's legacy. Stepping back, no matter the reason, carves a hole you can't fill with statements. The question isn't who won. The question is who's going to show their work next. The budgets, the hires, the whistleblowing policies, the fundraising plans that don't depend on one famous face and one perfect photo. If you've made it this far, you're the kind of viewer who actually cares about outcomes. So tell me this in the comments. Did the story change your view of celebrity-backed charities? Or did it just confirm a suspicion you already had? Hit like if you want more long-form breakdowns that go beyond the clip and into the paperwork, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We have more deep dives coming, balanced, sourced, and built to help you form your own take. Because in the end, a mission either survives the noise or it gets swallowed by it. Sentabal's mission deserves the first outcome. The rest is on the people in charge and the rest of us paying attention.